before introducing the information technology, the human resources, high human resources in India at the time of introducing the new technology, that computer it is called as a computer. That time many discussions were discussed regarding how a computer attended 10 people at a time work. At a time, one mission works in India. 10 people. What is the human resources value in India? Like very phenomenal human resources are there.
It is not audible, sir. It is not coming.
Is it okay? Is it okay now? Is it okay now?
It is audible.
Yeah, it was shaped. I don't know why it is. So when IT technology introduced in India 1990s, 85 to 19 between, drastically opposition was there. How human values will be like, how the human will be worked if computer replaces the man. But at the same time, we can come across this almost 3 decades or 4 decades, how the phenomenal growth in the information sector, as well as data science, and also research-oriented areas. That is a growing organism influencing the requirement of the society. So that how the social epistemology, according to the Professor Plant of the University of Chicago, mentioned that man requires the need for the novelty along with the minimum needs. Whatever minimum needs are there, air, water, food, and shelter. That's the minimum requirement. Among these, we need novelty, how the benefit of the social responsibility enhance our lifespan as well as health conditions, and novelty, how it can be, people need it, how it can be enhanced our health, technology, knowledge, whatever, whatnot. It's including the services area. Already yesterday I mentioned about how we are getting the services on a click away. Just we can click, we can get whatever we want. But at the same time, the process is there, scientific method is there. How it will be? Like we can come across it recently, what happened regarding one report mentioned regarding that manipulation is going on in the one corporate sector. That a person, third position to almost above the 50th position right now, 25th to 50th crossed. And lakhs of rupees vanished in a hourly basis. So it should be in a scientific manner. Whether it's right or wrong, we are not thinking about it. Issue is going on, we are behind about that, and very drastically, we are attentively, we are acting on it. But as a knowledge group, by facing these situations and the case studies, HPR reviews are there, how the case studies will be mentioned. And a small example I can give, Maruti, that is a phenomenon taken place in India 4 decades back. That time, how fast the technology-oriented advancement occurs in the automobile sector. We can face it. We have already seen. But at the same time, now driverless cars. What is the parameter in between? What is the growth in between the knowledge and technology in the corporate style? So this, how the novelty, we are having that good enough network, and a very less time we can attend whatever we want and whatnot, we can see. And the first mode of communication idea is the oral first, or a speech. But this mode could not satisfy man's need for information. Right now, we are not depending upon just science or just oral speeches. We are multi-dimensional. We can see that one person is as an example, I'm saying one person is teaching in English or a media, any form of media. It goes to conversion in between the language to languages. Automatically, as a Telugu medium, if you want, you can listen. Like that is a open education resources. Already we are having a multilingual facets. How it is the knowledge is going up. So how the people are enjoying with the knowledge growth. What is the formation of the new subject? I already mentioned about the new subjects, how it's happening. And growth process, we can already see that in our 136, page number 136, it's a very nicely presented in that manner, how it is like very easy to understand. How the digestive system, how our cell biology is there, how we can gain our stamina. Again, we have to work. See, we are getting some inputs as a food. Is the food is directly we are taking? No. When we are taking the raw material, it we are cutting, unwanted, removing, wanted, we are already preparing. Within that wanted, a proteinic food we are getting into the cell structure of our human body. That human body again re-energizing our work to how we can work on the output. That it influences the growth of process similar to the knowledge. It's a comparatively very nice, easily understandable manner. Growth process in higher animals. Growth process of the knowledge also compared. It's a mainly spiral of scientific method of the growth we are expecting and also experiencing. Before discussion of the spiral scientific method, we should know about the first what is the mean by scientific method. Scientific art and communication like okay, but when it is a scientifically proved systematical approach by the human being, because one person know one thing, another person knows something. So if we comparatively discuss regarding scientific manner, deliberations, whatever output comes in a systematic way of as a report, we can say. For example, national education policy. There is a national education policy, almost 150 crores of the population country. It's not like a just 300 or 400 pages as a report. It is given a representative for the many people, those are knowledgeable persons. What has happened in a future, after a decade, after 2 decades, after 3 decades? Imaginary, hypothetically, they collected the facts and also some area implemented as a pilot project. Not only the India, other countries they are also seen that what is happening, what is the growth of the knowledge, how it is existing the growth and processing into the verified manner. That is a scientific method. When Encyclopedia Britannica defined the scientific method, you can see in our page number 37, a collective term denoting the various processes by the aid of the sciences are built up. The scientific mainly in the sciences. It may be laboratory knowledge or else observation knowledge. It should be very keen enough regarding the output in a scientific application method. That scientific research, mainly we are those who are want to go for the research oriented, this is a class, very best class to grow their knowledge as per the need actually. Initially we had nothing, but when we thought about some problem, it may hint us what is the problem, how it will be faced by the human tendency. Then we can collect the material beyond that limitation. We will be precise our ideas. Really, is it the problem for the common, as a common? When it is a common problem, then we can take as a minimum problem, how can we face it and how can we attend it? As a pilot project, we are applying in our research area. Mainly those are after completion of this MLIC, some people may go beyond like higher education, we can see. Some percentage will be like a research oriented. Some percentage they go for the job. Alternately, they may even entrepreneurship. In that manner, what is the spiral of the scientific method? Mainly scientific method in 4 steps. One is identification of the problem. Already we come across the research methodology, I think. What is the problem it is? In our libraries, as mainly like electron, how we are utilizing. What is the common phenomena? Everybody is like electron resource, sir, we are utilizing. Recently, yesterday, I want to tell about all after class, I just come across to my National Day in Telugu. UGC mentioned about that, whatever discussed in the class. Luckily, it is like credit oriented based, already we discussed. UGC chairman mentioned about that, hinted to all the institutions, be prepared. Even if the online courses, it's simultaneously we are physical courses as well as the online courses are going to conduct in future, like open distance learning. Now we are happy with the open distance learning with the physical as well as the offline, physical offline as well as the online. But in future, totally electronic online course is going to be established by the top 100 NIRF ranking institutions in India. So we have to think about that, how as an information professionals can give our services at that particular area. Maybe the academic, maybe the institutional, maybe the organization, maybe the R&D, maybe the school education, or else even primary education also. These all will be like regularly I'm telling about the national education policy. New policy going to come up. Maybe it takes a decade, or maybe it takes a 5 years, maybe it takes us within a year. But as an information processor, we have to keep it, be a forward, take that advantage, how it can be maximize our services. Okay, and also same time we have to go for the new knowledge, creation of new knowledge, how it will be scientific manner. For example, it's the following steps. Already scientific methods involves identification of the problem, formulation of the hypothesis. Hypothesis means imaginary. We feel that. And regarding that, we have to prepare our objectives to collection of the possible data for the verification of the hypothesis. Something we are saying that NEP going to come up within a decade. It changes ultimate of in academic sector. We can take as a identification of the problem. Are we ready to face it? So yes, we are well equipped, like open education resources we are having already, like including the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, planned for the all the subject material into the electronic form. That it may be save the money, and that we can go further as a identification of the problem, whether it is reachable for all the people. Those who register for the coursework. One is advantages. Another one also highlighted the disadvantages. If somebody is remotely, people are there, how can they simultaneously read and write with the electronic copy if there is no power? So these are barriers are there, even though some technical issues will be there, and also network problem as well as the power. If these three are basic things are provided, it is ultimate to reach the many people. So this is the problem, identify the problem, we can formulate the hypothesis, say yes, it is possible. If it is not possible, yes, it is not possible. Based on that, how the research may collect the possibility of the data, whether yes or no, of the hypothesis. Then we have to generalize the things where it can be applicable. See, somewhere we are in the pilot study we did from our own institution or our own organization. These are 4 parameters we generalized into that one area as a school education or higher education. It can be elaborated to generalize the things to all academic sector, irrespective of the border, irrespective of the response of like under the budget allocations. How it will be, it happens. Okay, this is we can go through the spiral scientific method. This is you have to mainly you have to think about those are going to write the net set or else any other PhD entrance examinations. Mainly in your area, after completing your course, after completing your complete your test, if you selected, so what will become? Now that is not easy. Once you completed your net or set, it is mainly like what you want to do for the research. How it will be possible? Mainly like in the traditional universities, not so minimizing the thoughts. But when you go for the national importance institutions, they are asking what is the need for your PhD if once we have given a 3 years with scholarship. So with that, what we will get? Ready reference, what it is, empirical study, how it can be experimental, immediately need to attend the problem in the particular socio-economic policy. They'll ask. But in the traditional area, traditional universities like old, they'll not bother about that. Yes, let the conduct the research. Result will be based on the output. We are not minimizing. But in the IITs, there are plenty of money is the dumping, but at the same time, they are demanding the services in the research sector also. For example, recently GPS system inserted for the cows, animals to trace their access to the forest. So how they are sending inside the forest, how they are feeding to that, how it will be getting back to the shelter or a shed. These things will be scientific improvement should be there. At the same time, we can see that spiral scientific methods. Page number 138 mentioned clearly there is a spiral scientific method divided into 4 parts. One is you can see that spiral meaning of the Meaning of the terms already mentioned: spiral, quadrants, cardinal points. In that again, phases also mentioned: empirical, hypothesis phase, and deductive and verification. These 4 pages. When spiral, you can see the figure 2. Spiral divided into 4 quadrants. In that quadrants, how it is nodded. Nodded means initially there is unsuccessful or about to start. Beginning of the first quadrant. Then it is coming as an ascendant. Arohana. Zenith, it is a successful. Someone should mute, I think. Who is that? Can you check your speaker, please? Some disturbance going on in between. I don't know who is that. Kindly, you can mute. Whenever you want to unmute, you can unmute and speak, okay? If there is any clarification, please. Your net is not, net may be slow, I think. Can you check your network, please? Yeah, you can see the spiral scientific method. It is divided into 4 parts. You can see the figure 2. How it divided? One, the dot initially split into the 4 parts. There's a thin gap is there. Kindly mute, please. Someone is surrounding the is coming. Can you please? So you can see the phases, how it is scientific methods phases. Empirical phase, hypothesizing phase, deductive phase, and verification phase. When empirical is the first phase research where the investigator start the research, identify the problem. How it is? No, it is like already with experience. How he come across to the service oriented or as organizational thing. How the knowledge they got to keep as an empirical phase. Empirical means just thoughts or concepts. Establish a problem which can be assistance with the earlier knowledge. Like directly we can't, whatever we have the knowledge, we can go across to the refabricating that. How the problem begins as a noded. Noded means unsuccessful. It is the initial stage, first quadrant, and ends with ascendant. That is the second quadrant. That is the spiral. In the spiral, you can see. As per the S.R. Nanganathan explains, the empirical phase as we start the fact or individual experiences in the at the time of nada. Nada is initial stage. Whatever we face, it experiences. At the same time, hypothesis. After next phase is hypothesis phase. During this phase, researcher formulate hypothesis. I already mentioned regarding it may not be, something may. So it will be expected results. What we are thinking based on the empirical phase, which identifies the problem. So already mentioned in the first half, I think that is like we verified that how it will be, how the identify the problem which we are going to face in future. Something mentioned like online courses. It saves money, time, as well as the paper. Removal of the tree can be like forest disappearance can be stopped by electronic prints, e-prints. But e-prints also sometimes giving the immense when we are sometimes we are able to like bonded a book one time job is there. But whenever required, we are using n number of. You see, if you are taking the print at office, if you are not sufficient at home, again we are taking the print to home. If it is a book, it can be carried. Sometimes it may be the same time I'm saying advantage and disadvantage. It will be mentioned in the hypothesis phase. What are the things going to happen if the problem arises? That problem continuously discussed with as a research project or research problem. Then we collect the data as per the hypothesis. We feel that online courses main barriers are technology, reached to unreached. Mainly network, power, or equipment. These 3. Which is barrier, which has become as a barrier we feel. But when you are going to take as a sample, everybody is having uninterrupted power supply, well advanced technology, and plenty of the networking. Very happily, good networking. These three, we come out, there is no problem with these barriers. So our thoughts may be shifted in between. No, this is not, may not be correct, which I face the problem. I feel that as a problem, as a research problem. That's why I'm saying as the initial level, whichever you're taking the problem as a research for the title as a further research, then you have to discuss with your friends whether right or wrong. Conclude with that many discussions, positive or negative, and those are well-versed knowledge. What is the output? That you have to take out the literature study. With that literature study, if you are coming across to it, whether the good or a bad, or a positive or a negative, that time it given immense strength to you to prepare the hypothesis, phrases, how it can be. My research work, if it is a problem I selected for my research article or research title, how it can be formulated my hypothesis. Then, when we collect the data, in-depth data, we will remove whatever, like in a previous manner, how the human being need food. We get the food from the like crops. We are not taking directly. We will cut which are required. Same similar manner. Deductive phase will be there. In this phase, certain normative principles, deductive laws are formulated. These normative principles and laws would help the researcher in future to verify the hypothesis and reach valid conclusion. Yes, this is happening 100% right or 100% no, 100% wrong. We are only, as a researcher, we are not demanding results in the initial level. Whatever results comes, we have to say, this is a thing observed. How we'll give the output as a report after the verification properly. We have to defend our study with the facts collected and deductive is applied, then we'll verify what is the output. During this phase, deductive laws tested, generalization is made, and basis of the collected data, we have to analyze the data. When we analyze the data, output will be given in a systematic approach. Hypothesis, whether the hypothesis and objectives, we have to testify. Whether hypothesis and objectives are matching. If it is not matching, we have to elaborate. This is not matching based on this situation. See, if we collected the data regarding some example I mentioned, barriers. The barriers which is not the same, remote area, urban area, rural as well as urban, we can say, semi-urban areas. This is not the same area which we collected the sample. It should be distributed as a universe. Wherever we are distributing, see, we are collecting the higher education sector. We should collect the higher education sector in which areas again? It is a research, 4 years course, 3 years course, 5 years course, or in special education we are. That if it is minimizing that our problem into that particular area, then we can collect the data very fairly. We can apply our data analytics, then we can verify easily. Otherwise, it may not be matches, like regarding, advanced, some small example I can give. Share values. Share value succeeds and huge loss will be which country? So investors are more, maybe loss also will be more, I think. Somewhere investors are less, profits are more. How it will be comparatively mentioned? Mainly it's the analytic basis. You can see that national stock exchanges, you can see the screens, how fast, how it moves. A day, when it starts immediately before 1 or 2 o'clock it closes, within the duration of how computers will be, like people are on the computer, they are not simply sitting. Each and every moment they'll observe the market area, what is happening. They want to sell or buy. These are based on the how fast your computer interact, how fast your computer works. Some issues already last before, like last year's session I've taken, I mentioned regarding that, how the laws applies. See, we are unable to reach, some small example like this. We want to book the ticket to go to either movie or a bus or a train or a plane. You are just trying to click the ticket, cost is very low. If you are waiting, that cost becomes a little bit higher because hints will be more than the people like operators are increasing their amount also. See, seats, plenty seats are available, then they won't allow, they'll be allowed a number of clicks. But hints are more for that particular seat, they'll be increase the amount in the parameter where we needed in the mainly plain tickets. You can see many people are asking one ticket, the calculation method will be more and more, and they'll ask to pay. This is include the special flight or special thing or special baggage or special amount. Same time, they can block the tickets when you want to go to the travel some particular bus or to see the movie. That time, how to apply it? You can see that how it can be verified fast, how it can be parameters more, you can just very calculative. That is mentioned in the start from the descendant to end it. You can see that nadi to descendant, nadi to ascendant, ascendant to zenith, zenith to descendant, descendant to nadi. These are spherical spiral scientific method. You can see how the solving problem can be solved. Identify the problem, formulated hypothesis, verify them, makes a generalization of the thoughts, how it can be solved. Okay. In the peak time, you can minimize the hints so that you can say should not, even in an example, we can see that how the recent changes allowed for the TSPSC exams, TSPSC OTR issues. Last minute, it won't take much access to the server. Why? Knowingly, unknowingly, will be given a hints. In a hurry, someone want to check. Another area, someone want to edit, and another area, someone to take out the print. At the same time, server becomes so busy at the last minute, so rush will be more and more. This problem, how it can be faced, even including the stocks area. When you are seeing that market is going very down, when you want to sell it out, if the buyer is not allowed to take as a network issue, what will be the result? So loss will become more and more. That's why technological advancement, wherever it is applied, we should be ready for that without any barriers. Then only the people should be ready. We can adopt as an example in our own areas like library management system. When we are working as a physical, like nominal manual areas, adopting the new technology as an automation. What we will do? First, we will create the database. Then we'll launch the database into the testing method, which is testing method shows that simultaneously we are running the program like library management system online as well as physically we are noting down how many transactions made, to whom we did, how many days we have given a period of returning in and out. These all will be checked simultaneously, automation as well as the physical. When complete this pilot project successfully completed, running without any barriers, then we can think about complete setup transfer to the automation. Then we can say 100% library automation. IT already implemented in many libraries, even though today we are taking the daily prints. How many people are issued, returned? Sometimes it may be like a database we are creating monthly. Sometimes they are creating that yearly also, how the transitions made. Individual as well as whole institution. This report should be developed and given to the management. Same manner, when the research is going on, we have to be very thorough about that. When we selected the topic and mentioned this is the problem, you have to write a hypothetical. There is a thought, whatever you think about it as a researcher, I'll say, based on your own, like come across that particular problem with the literature, not just like whatever you thought. That thinking should be processed to the limitation to that literature, whether it is applicable or not. If it is not applicable, you have to creating on your own. Then what is the model you want to develop? That you may not be collective.
Sir, it
like
is
many...
10th.
Hello?
Sir, it is 10th chapter, huh?
Yeah, it is the 10th chapter, page number 139. I mean 139. Any doubt about that?
Yeah, thank you, sir.
This is only regarding main I am saying. It is a research methodology already. It is come across to it, I think, many people. When we are going for that, any PG program, any PG I am saying, not only the MLIC, research methodology must. Why it is research methodology must? Because whatever you come across to the BLIC, MLIC, half of the 80% of the portion, next level what it is? You have to make a project based on your internship. That you have to create a new knowledge. With that, you can serve the society in a better manner. Not just like certification we have. We got the certification. Thousands of people are getting certificates, which is not valid for the practical area. When we are not so thorough about this knowledge, how to create new knowledge. So where we can serve as information professional, mainly we have to be very forefront to take a challenges wherever very new term is coming. Who will be categorized? First person is information profession. Maybe unlucky to the Google, IT people are already taken away from information profession. They are now with only service sector. We are thinking that as a basic level, again, maths required, statistical methods required. To work, computer, give the output. We can see that graphical interface. How we are enjoying the graphical interface? Not only the software engineer, even artist developed that, how we can represent our graphical interfaces. How we will feel happy. For your kind communication regarding, I'm just telling about that. IT sector is like, we'll feel that all software engineers. No, not like that. Even artists too involved in that development of the design of the particular area. Maybe the graphical, maybe the model, or maybe design presentation of the text even. That's why I'm saying that iPhone, Apple people, they definitely top payment will be done only for the IT professional. We feel that, not that. 200 people are already there in that as an art, just purely art. They don't have any computer knowledge. You can see that Adobe purely how to text to be appeared, how neat, how without disturbance of the eyes, how presently to be presented manner. These all things happen only based on the keen research about the company. Like multi-dimension, we have to just think about the multi-dimension. Same thing we have to apply as a information profession. When we knowledge, see, a small example I can give. Nowadays, routes are framed by the government. Some small example I can tell about the traffic rules. Don't go left, go on right, go on straight. Somewhere it is, not throw away. You have to stop, not to park. These are. The last 6 months or 8 months calculation data, I can see that even controversy statements are coming up. Traffic people are taking the many snaps and just fining. That's it. Why they'll fine? Because lakhs of vehicles are coming up. These fines are increasing. We can say, as a researcher in information profession, we can say that maximum utilization of the vehicles leads to not to maintain the rule. Once it is rules are breaking, the challenges are increasing. We can say, if the systematically every person, like we can see that international phenomena in a traffic control system, mainly the Scotland as I take as example, we can see happily give the way to the pedestrian. Those are going on foot, first priority. But is it applicable in underdeveloped countries or not developed countries? No, because the authorization not taken place, vice versa. If the strict rules mentioned, if not applied, there is no use. Same thing, when you define the problem as a research problem, if it is project oriented, you have to develop that such a like a small example I can tell about that. In our area, like the social sciences, we will see about that how many pages. But in the pure sciences, how many paragraphs? How laws are elaborated? How laws enhanced? How laws tested? It's like only 2 to 3 lines. Also, they get the PhD. Is it same applicable in the social sciences? Sometimes we can say no. Because we are habitual regarding how many pages, how the data should be connected, how it should be rigorous. work on that, then we can formulate the thinking process into the theorems. When theorems will be testified, it becomes as a laws. When it becomes as a laws, it will be implemented. Okay, then again it will testified. Next researcher comes to that particular level. We can see that 5 laws isn't even if it is now applicable for the technical oriented also. Ranganathan 5 laws are now we are applying in a different manner, but the reduce the time of the either the researcher or the student or whoever they come to for our resources, information resources. This is main important class. Why I'm saying in continuously I'm telling about that data, information, knowledge. Why I'm telling regularly? Because where it starts, when it will be notified, when it will be applicable. We have to think about that. Either the research applied or basic, whatever it is, the phenomena should be continuously flow in our mind. What is the data? What is the information? What is the knowledge? If we are separating these, how best, how fast, we can elaborate the next level answer. Within the knowledge, how the conceptual knowledge, how the ideas will be implemented, how the significance. You can see that the method of pure and applied research. Methods of pure and applied. Pure means it's the basic one. Applied means if something taken as an advantage, what it can be. Applied means as per the requirement. Pure means it's unchanged. Pure, basic. Applied, just a generalized thing like multidiscipline is coming up right now. It will be, we can say, as a applied research. What are the objectives of the research? You can see to gain as a familiarity, portray accurately, and determine the frequency of how diagnostic the research studies. You can see to test the hypothesis causal relationship between the variables. Such studies are known as hypothesis testing research studies. Already mentioned what is the we are already hypothetically we are thinking these barriers are there to reach the online courses. How it will be tested with the collected data between the variables that too. Some variables very nearer as per the data collection. We are not data collection mainly the headache to the people those who are selected the phenomena. Like we can say that the some problem in India. How can we find in India as a term? Again, we have to specify a particular area. Again, within that specify the particular gender or organization or that parameter which impact immediately or it may be going to impact as per the thoughts of the researcher. This is you have to define at the time of hypothesis formulation. At the same time, how the objectives are mentioned, how it can be tested our variables. In the research methodology, you can go to some in the social sciences, mainly Kothari, CR Kothari research method. It's a very definedly mentioned how best research methods are applicable. How the design of research methods, hypothesis formulation, testing the hypothesis, the testing main chi-square test we applied in our area. Somewhere it is not required, somewhere required. Where are the required areas? Let's see.
Sir? Sir?
Sorry, just a minute. Mainly, as a make a good project. If it is already there in your thoughts, in your mind, check the project where we can apply. It should be developed as a research article. I'm saying when we are going as a define the problem, take a small problem, elaborate it, apply wherever it is required, check the results with the variables, and verify the process. Although last class I mentioned that it should be interactive session. But how many people come with your ideas with a single line? What are the problems faced by your own area, working area, or else you come across the education level? Almost bachelor completed, post bachelor, and now post master bachelor, master course, master professional master. So you come across the one thinking process about the research, what you want to do. That make it as a simple as a sentence. I'm saying, whatever it is, you come with at least before the next class Friday. Just communicate to me what is the research problem. If you want to go for the research, or else even you want to go for the think about the problem. Define it first. And what is the material available? I am giving assignment as an assignment. I am telling to my dear students, take, I don't know how many people are there, 100, 200, but in the class right now we are having only 18 to 20. They may become live, they can even access, or else they can come tomorrow also, they can check their class work also. So you go through the today's session, how the knowledge grows the knowledge, and a scientific manner that too. So that scientific manner, we have to minimize the ideas where we are come across to our experiences. Don't say someone experienced this, that experiences may change. You experience with your own idea, take it out as a problem, mention that in a single sentence. This sentence, if it is not applicable for your own ideas, mention 3 to 4 more to be added for that. You have to minimize from the 5, make it as a single sentence. This is a problem I am going to discuss. This is a problem I am going to work. This is a problem I am going to make as a design research for the as a problem. Then next session I will tell how you can collect the literature. Collect the literature who are working. See, in our own research area should not be duplicate actually. Even already Ranganathan told about that. Minimize that serving sector. Wherever you are giving services, very less time you can. If some research is duplicating, how many years will be wasted of the particular single person, and as well as the impact. If it is not possible to complete within 5 years or 3 years, what is the use of the human resource I am saying? So that think about someone did, if they are doing, on what part they are. If they are already the things happened, these things, where we can continue that research. See, you can see that Thomas Alva Edison, whatever research output, not at a time, maybe hundreds of experiments failure, one resulted. We are not saying 100 failures gives a good result one, not like that. Sometimes it may become within a 1 or 2, like one almost 60, 40, 50 above years person become a good entrepreneur after 50 or 60th year. Based on his own experiences, he developed that KFC as an example, Alibaba.com, these all with experiences they come out with as a business model. Same thing, if you become as a research designer or research oriented person, it can be, don't say about that, how can I get only PhD? Don't say about the PhD only. Don't say about the research project. Once you are working beyond thinking, someday definitely recognition comes. You may become as an entrepreneur like abhibus.com. You can see that abhibus.com, because people are facing problem to get the bus ticket. Then he thought about linking with the transport operators, and based on the data collected by the customers, these two interlinked with the availability as per the price. Succeeded. So Redbus or Abhibus, whatever it is. So as the information which I'm telling, as a like small inputs to be as a, not just like a job seeker or a job holder. You can become as an entrepreneur also with the new knowledge of the creativity. How you are creating new knowledge as a scientific method. If you are not be a scientific method, everybody can say that this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. So you can be good process in that. You can see all the methods are applied. How the piece of the research based on 14 descriptive was analytical. You can see this is already elaborated text is there. If there is any doubt, you can call me. You can get my number from our academic in charges. You can call whenever. Like my office hours is 10 to 5. Within that, even after, as a friendly manner, whenever I'll be free, I'll be helpful for you. If luckily research-oriented thinking process comes, please, I'm most welcome, friends. Come with good ideas, take as a good concept, define as a good term, and mentioned it should be attended by the social problems. When we are attending the social problem, it will maximize our services, you can say, as an information professionals. Now time, is it okay for us? Can we 4:56, 5 more minutes are there? It is open discussion for all 5 minutes. If any doubts regarding, because you have to come with the preparation as I told about last class also. If there is a doubt, or not only the doubt, it can be interacted, because we don't know how many are in this class already worked, are working, or going to work. So that it can be interaction session will be very good. This last 5 minutes you can speak about almost 17 people are there. 4 or 5 you can, please, within 5 minutes.
Sir, how many tasks in 7?
Somebody's voice is not so clear. Please come. Please unmute it and then allow others to unmute. Yeah, madam.
How many tasks in 7 tasks? And how many questions you have to write?
Madam, I am unable to listen your voice. Please kindly ask. Somebody is on travel right now. Please kindly mute that who is traveling. Hello. Somebody is traveling. Kumari Aruna, you have. Yes, Vani. Please mute your. Okay, Vani, please can ask to.
How many questions we have in 70 marks paper? And how many questions we have to answer? Sir?
Questions. Pattern will be given by the Kiran sir. Okay, you can see the model. Okay, they have mentioned the models in this easy questions. Short notes also mentioned the last page number 5. Compare the growth process of the knowledge with that the organic body. Knowledge look like organic tree. Knowledge grows like organic tree. It is okay. You can compare that. And what is the spiral scientific methods? Already mentioned spiral. It is the 4 quadrants. Within the 4 quadrants, you can see how phases will be applied. And list out the steps of the research and explain each step briefly. Explain various model formation subjects of the prepondered by the Dr. Ranganathan. See all these questions from this unit only. How it can be elaborate as per the marks I am telling. Marks, if it is high, then you have to elaborate whatever knowledge you are having. Okay. Go to next class, please. Hello. 1 more minute is there. If anybody wants, please. Otherwise, attend next class, whichever is electives allowed for 5 to 6. Thank you, one and all, for bearing. Next,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I want to see many research problems with next class. Understand? It will be interacted. Next research come with research problem. Then we can discuss.
Okay.
Next class will be unit number 2. Next means coming next Saturday. I am saying for my class on Saturday 10:30 to 11:30.